is John Zaffis. For over 40 years, people have come to me with their problems, paranormal problems.
This place is creepy.
I found that sometimes spirits attach themselves to objects.
Johnny.
Oh, there it is. And can make life a living hell. That's where my team comes in. Chris, my son and investigator. Amy, my daughter and researcher. Brian, my tech guy. And Bev, my lead investigator. My job?
You hear that? There's definitely something on the air.
Find the haunted item and remove it. Because I am the Haunted Collector.
The Haunted Collector. Okay, this show is about a guy who you call him up and tell him you got ghost problems in your house or demons or whatever. He shows up. He'll walk around your house, look at your watch, your toolbox, your dog, your car, all this stuff, and kind of try to pinpoint, what could be possible trouble spots. I mean, you got like a old heirloom, like your watch, for example. It was owned by your great-great-grandfather in World War II or whatever. And, he killed a guy from the other side. Maybe the ghost of that guy has attached itself to that watch or something. And so he does these little investigations, and we'll get to all that. But when I first started watching a few of these episodes, the guy, John Zaffis, seemed familiar. I knew him from somewhere. I couldn't place him. So I started to do a little research on him, and it didn't take long for me to figure out where I saw him from. He was in the documentary about the Haunting in Connecticut movie, where they supposedly told the real story of what happened, which is another matter and would probably be another video or series of videos, but that I don't have to do because Joe Nickel has investigated this, and I'll put a link in the description, down in the description box for that. And I'll even put in some links to interviews with the guy who actually wrote the book for the movie Haunting in Connecticut. He got with the people that the thing was supposed to be about. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Ray Garton, I believe. Anyway, I'll link that below. And, between Joe Nickel's investigation and the guy who actually did the writing for all of this, between them two, you can pretty much see that the whole thing was invented. But this guy, John Zaffis, was in the documentary. So we get to see a little bit of him. And I'm going to go ahead and play some pertinent parts here of that documentary, and that will put into perspective who we're dealing with on this Haunted Collector show. So let's get that out of the way first.
If the church wouldn't solve the family's problem, Karen would look for help from less conventional sources. Weeks earlier, she saw an article about a husband and wife team of demonologists. She discounted it at the time, but now she was desperate. Ed and Lorraine Warren have spent decades confronting the supernatural. Several of the cases they've worked on have appeared in books and movies, including the Amityville Horror.
All right, so she calls up a couple of quacks to come over and investigate this, since they've had priests and stuff come over and try to do exorcism, and they don't find anything worth sticking around for. They're like, no big deal. So she keeps pressing the issue, and so she calls up the Warrens. Well, it just so happens that they have a nephew who is a paranormal investigator, expert. So they call him in. Guess what his name is? John Zaffis.
To help convince the church an officially sanctioned exorcism was needed, the Warrens contacted their chief researcher, John Zaffis.
For the researcher end of it, it's very important to go in there to be able to get these things documented. Filming things, seeing things happen, get the voices documented on your audio tape, witnessing these things, so they have the evidence at hand to be able to determine whether an exorcism will be necessary.
The Warrens' research team literally moved into the house to record evidence of supernatural activity. They relied on video, audio, and other sensing equipment to record their evidence.
Outstanding. So they got an expert on the scene now. He comes in with his assistants. He's got metal suitcases full of audio and video sensing equipment and who knows what else. And we're going to get some good footage now because they got an expert on the scene with the proper equipment, hopefully. So let's continue on.
It was very important for us to actually move into this home. It was an emergency situation. Everybody in the home was exhausted. Nobody was sleeping. Everybody was petrified to sleep. They needed someone there to explain some of the things that were going on, why these things were happening, and what they could do to relieve some of the things as they were going on.
To prevent the entity from isolating any one person and attacking, the Warrens recommended that everyone stay together at all times.
Everybody moved out of the rooms, basically, and everybody slept in the living room. And having someone, they were there, so at least one of them was there 24 hours a day. There was always someone in the house with you.
They got help from demonologists who were trying to convince the Catholic Church to conduct an exorcism. But time was of the essence. The entity was looking for the most vulnerable target in the house. Karen had suffered immense psychological stress from the ordeal. She felt a crushing sense of guilt for not believing their son Paul.
My neck swelled and my face contorted. I was in this hole. There were blacker shapes. Their emotions were permeated in my skin. They were all the negative human emotions: anger, hatred, jealousy, distrust.
All right, I got to stop the clip here for a second. We've got a woman who is possessed by a demon. Her neck is swelling up like a balloon, and who knows what else is going on. And here we have our expert, John Zaffis, gets up, runs over to his case, and he's obviously going to whip out his camera and equipment and record this so we have some evidence. So here we go.
And the one that startled me the most.
So our expert investigator runs over to his case and grabs a rosary rather than any recording equipment to get this on video, audio, take pictures, anything like that. He grabs a cross. What a clown. So we don't have any evidence of this incident at all.
Was hopelessness.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.
The sadness was overwhelming for me. It was such a sad place and such darkness.
But Karen had allies in her struggle.
With these things that we bring in, and the things that the family use, your relics, your rosary beads, the holy water and everything, this is our defense to fight against this. These are blessed objects. The holy water is blessed. These things are used to help combat it, to help it to subside, till we can get the clergy or the priest in there to be able to help that family.
The fervent prayers seemed to have at least temporarily freed Karen of the entity.
When I got back to my body, they said I'd been gone for 8 hours.
8 hours. And the guy doesn't pick up his camera once. He doesn't record anything. He stands there with his rosary bead and his holy water. And this is our expert investigator who knows what the hell he's doing with 40-some years of expertise in this field. Awesome.
The researchers stayed with the family until they had enough evidence to obtain a church-sanctioned exorcism. They got little rest.
Researchers had mattresses that they were laying on, and you could see them breathing. They had a pulse and a heartbeat. I don't know why it made mattresses breathe or why it made them vibrate. I guess just to get your attention like a spoiled child.
John Zaffis had investigated dozens of paranormal incidents. But he had never encountered a demonic possession as strong as the one in the Parker home.
And it obviously never crossed his mind to record his mattress breathing and having a heartbeat. This guy's in his house, his mattresses are breathing, and he don't even film it. It's like it don't even cross his mind to pull out any of the equipment and actually check any of this stuff out. So, once again, we have anecdotal evidence and nothing to show for it. And we got an investigator in the house with all the equipment, and he's not recording any of this.
Even those experienced felt vulnerable.
How do you fight something you can't see? How do you fight something you can't grab? You can't go up to it like most of us would with our families to try and protect them. Can't see it. How do you fight it?
What do you mean fight it? That's what your demonologist aunt and uncle are there for. Your job is to record everything, which you are not doing.
The entity seemed to prefer isolating its targets.
Of course it does. That's why they're all sleeping together in the living room. Except for the expert. He gets up and walks off by himself, even though everybody's supposed to stay together.
John Zaffis made the mistake of leaving the safety of the group.
When I was jotting down the events from the day, it started getting very cold. And I know when it starts getting cold, a lot of the energy is getting drawn. At that point, I started calling for anybody in the house. I was calling for the children. I was calling for the parents. Nobody was responding to me. Chris. And I knew this one particular incident was focusing some way just for me.
So now the demon is focusing on him, and he's so terrified that he's sitting at the table crying out for help, calling for help. So he's obviously going to go get up and walk into the other room and wake people up, or at least, get back in the safety of the group. Of course, I mean, this guy's an expert. At least he's got a camera out, apparently, because we saw the monitor, so obviously he took some pictures of something. He's just so terrified. He's sitting at the table screaming for help, and nobody wakes up. So he goes into the other room, doesn't wake anybody up, doesn't pick up any cameras or any recording equipment or anything like that. So he's just going to go wander off again by himself, even though he knows he's being targeted by a demon. What a clown.
What I seen, what I experienced that night, I don't think I'll ever forget.
John Zaffis brought suitcases full of sensitive equipment to record evidence of demonic activity.
What I believe was a full-form demon.
But all he needed were his own two eyes.
Very shaken at this point.
The terrifying experience was forever seared into his memory.
I would not go back onto that case and left the house.
Fuck y'all, I'm out of here. What an expert investigator. He finally gets to see what he's there to see. Doesn't take no pictures, doesn't record nothing, and he runs off like a little schoolgirl with a skinned-up knee. What a crybaby. And so now this is the guy who is going to go investigate people's haunted stuff at their house. So let's watch this guy case out a joint and see what the show is all about.
How many dolls did he get?
Somewhere around 70, so I might have you help me maybe take some out.
Not unpacking them. I don't want to touch them.
They're not that scary. I mean, they're just dolls.
They're not that creepy.
That one there is looking at me.
When I was a kid, my dad used to bring home haunted items a lot, and it took me a long time to come to peace with those items.
All right, I showed that segment just so you can actually see the museum that he's got going there. He takes all this stuff that's supposed to be haunted from all these places that he investigates, and he puts it in this museum that he's got. It's not like it's in some ectoplasm containment unit like the Ghostbusters. He's just got dolls laying around, stuff all over the place. That must be the most haunted place on the planet. It's too funny. All right, let's see who he's going to go check out.
Hi, John. My name is Charlotte. I'm experiencing a lot of unexplained activity in my house. I've woken up in the middle of the night and I've heard banging sounds. I've heard tapping sounds. It's scaring my son. My son is waking up crying in the middle of the night. I've seen him talk to it a few times. John, please come and help me. Hello.
Hi, Charlotte. Oh, you're very welcome.
To see you.
I'm John. This is my daughter, Amy.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Come in.
Okay.
All right, so he shows up at the client's house, and he's going to case the joint. He's going to look at the watch and, whatever, the dog food bowl. And he's going to find items that are, actually of some decent value, sentimental or monetarily. But he's going to, this is actually one of the more interesting parts of the show I found, because he sends his daughter out to do some investigative work, like on the story behind, the watch or whatever. And if there was, a murder involved and stuff like that. And so that's kind of interesting, but that's not really what the show is about. The show is about the paranormal part. So let's watch him case the joint, and we'll get to the ghost hunting.
Are there any items in this area right here that have a personal attachment?
Yeah, I have this over here.
Okay.
Mom's angel. And her dove.
Okay.
Did you give this to her?
Yeah, I did. And she collected angels.
What about anything else in here?
My aunt made this for my mom when she was dying. This was my uncle's. He passed away.
What exactly is it?
A little toolbox that my grandfather had passed down.
Oh.
It's kind of old.
I would say it's probably 1900, 1920s.
Over here, I have my mom's music box.
Music boxes have been around since the 1700s. This is not only a music box, it's a jewelry box, and it held a lot of personal items. It's a beautiful piece.
That was her favorite possession. It was beside her when she died. Maybe she's still holding on.
All right, so they did their daytime investigation, and at least that was, kind of okay. At least they went during the day with, their little EVP things and isolated things like electrical boxes and stuff that would, give a reading on their, obviously give a reading on their equipment. And they, kind of isolated that stuff. So when they come back at night, they know not to, pick up stuff over in that area. So they come back, throw powder on the floor and put up their cameras and all that. And they don't get nothing, but they start doing the EVP thing where they're trying to do the electronic voice phenomena. So let's get into this.
I have an idea. I want to try something.
We're doing an EVP session near some of the objects Charlotte's mom left behind.
I have one of your angels that Charlotte kept. Do you remember it? Do you miss Charlotte? Beth, play that back. See if we got anything. Nothing, huh?
Nothing.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to throw protocol out the window and get rid of any suspense. They find something on the EVP. All right, let's get that out of the way right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play it because I wanted to run an experiment. You guys can help. Get out a pen and paper and listen to what I'm about to play and write down what you hear. I'll play it several times so you can hear it. And then we'll see if your answer matches what they get when they decipher what it says. Let's go. All right, hopefully that was enough times for everybody to get some kind of answer down and get kind of an idea in your head what you think that it was and whether the voice was male or female. If you didn't get it, go ahead and rewind if you want to hear it again, because I'm about to share with you what I think it sounds like. So this is, so when we go in, let's see, what it really is. To me, it sounds like a male voice whispering, into a microphone, like this. 2010. So let's see what it is.
Meet them. Okay, guys, we're doing our next EVP session back here. Everything cool up there?
Yeah, go ahead.
We're doing an EVP session near the music box that Charlotte inherited from her mom. What is your name? Are you aware that you're scaring the inhabitants of this house? What year do you think it is? That one was short and sweet. Let's see if we got anything. What year do you think it is? I heard something. Now, we've been here all night, and it seems like nothing we've tried has garnered any results. But we did an EVP session over this musical box, and I think we've got something. I still can't make out what it's saying. 3 or 4 syllables I'm getting.
I didn't even let Brian finish the rest of the recording. I just said, I really think we should go tell this to my dad.
That was incredible. It answered his question, or at least it sounded that way to me. It sounded like 2010. So when the guy asked what year it was, and you get your 2010. Amazing. Problem is, there were so many edits in that scene and so much music, thrown over it. We have no idea what happened in that scene. We don't know anything. If they're going to show something like this as some kind of evidence, they need to show it as one continuous shot, and a lot of different things need to happen. You can't edit in, music and clips of the music box and another guy, all this stuff, because we have no idea what happened there. And I hate to, just start looking like a cynic, because that's not what I'm doing here. I'm asking for actual evidence, and I'm not getting it. But it's not really a cut and dried case of, hoaxing this, because not everybody's on the same sheet of music, which we see in the next scene.
I think we got something.
Yeah?
I'll just see here for yourself. What year do you think it is?
Play that back again. Is there purple flowers in that room?
I didn't notice.
Guys, I hear purple flowers.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. What year is it, purple flowers?
All right, if you got purple flowers for your answer, raise your hand. Nobody. Where in the fuck is he getting purple flowers from this? I don't hear purple flowers. And his son, you can see the look on his son's face. He's stunned because Dad doesn't understand what he just heard. And so you can see that he's kind of irritated, and he plays it again a few times. And it almost looks, the way they edit the scene, it looks like they all get on the same sheet of music. But they don't.
What year do you think it is?
Play that back again. Is there purple flowers in that room?
I didn't notice.
Guys, I hear purple flowers.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. What year is it, purple flowers? What year do you think it is?
Where did you get that EVP?
Chris had decided that we should do it right next to the jewelry box, so the recorder was...
okay, near the music box. Sounds like we might have got a little bit of evidence here. We're going to need to sit down, listen to it on the computer, and I want to present this to Charlotte. I want to see if it means anything to her. Well, tonight was very successful. Even though after hours we just ended up with one EVP, that's still something to work with. I definitely think that I want to take the music box to an expert to see what we could find out about this.
Okay.
It's been a long night, guys. Let's wrap up and go get some rest.
All right, so this looks like the son and the other guy obviously tried to fake this. So when they took it out to their dad, they expected him, to go along with the 2010 sound that they made. And when he came back with purple flowers, you could see the son wanting to facepalm and say, "Are you sure to play it again?" You know, you can see him get irritated. And so they edit the scene together like they actually made some progress. And now is where the show takes a kind of sad turn, because at this point you realize that they're just taking things from people, you know, and preying upon people that have had, you know, deaths in the family and things like that. And now I want to kick him in the nuts.
I'm heading to an antique expert right now. I want to see what kind of information she can give me on this music box.
We've got a burled wood music box made by San Francisco Music Company.
Okay.
They manufacture these in Sorrento, Italy, and bring them over for retail sales.
Okay.
And probably would have cost somewhere between $65 and $85.
Okay. All right, well, thank you so much.
Glad I could help.
Cynthia gave me some really good information, but is there a connection between that EVP, purple flowers, and this music box? When I sit down with Charlotte, I'm kind of hoping she can shed some light on that for us. Charlotte, as you know, we were here for hours investigating. And Brian and Chris were back here. They were walking through doing EVPs, electronic voice phenomena. And what that is, sometimes we'll get spirit voices on the tapes. They did actually pick something up, and it was right near the music box.
Oh, my God.
We sat down, we went over the EVP, and I'd like to play it for you. I want to see what your opinion is.
What year do you think it is?
Did you hear that?
Wow.
Is that something to you? What is it, sweetie?
It's my mom. When I heard the words purple flowers, it was shocking. I don't even know what to say. Her favorite color was purple.
That was her favorite color?
Yeah. She loved anything that was purple. Like, purple flowers were her favorite. Hearing that was a great feeling.
So the girl heard this and thought it sounded like purple flowers. Once again, we have an edited scene, all cut up, music, different shots. We don't know if she came to that conclusion herself or if this guy translated for her, but I still don't hear purple flowers.
Charlotte, I know you've had communication with Spirit, thinking it might be your mom or one of your relatives, but we have to be so careful, because once you open that door up and you let Spirit come through to communicate, they can bring other Spirit in with them.
Oh, of course. The girl thinks it's her mom. Her mom's not a bad spirit. Why would her mom hurt her or hurt her son? That's a good thing. But wait, this guy's still got to get the item away from the girl. So he's going to lay a guilt trip on her. Oh, you never know. If you let one in, a bad one could come too. So
I feel you need to move forward now. Okay? I know you're missing your mom. I know you're missing several other relatives. It's a very heavy-duty thing. And bring some closure, Yeah. So what would you like to do?
So is it connected to the box?
It's a good possibility that it is, yes. We didn't get anything around any of the other items.
I'd like you to take the music box out of the house.
Okay.
I want to see if that will stop the activity.
Okay.
Knowing they have to take the box is going to be really hard, but I think when my mom looks down from heaven and she sees that we're happy and living life, it'll make her happy.
For now, Charlotte's heirloom is safely contained in my museum. But whether the activity in her home will stop, only time will tell.
all right, so he threw the better safe than sorry Pascal's wager on her and got the box from her. And now the girl goes into theology. Mom's going to be looking down from heaven now and know that they're okay. Hell no, Mom's going to be pissed. You gave away her freaking music box. And it's hard to laugh at these people, but because I look at them like people who are going to see, a cold reader, who are just feeding information, just doing everything they can to help this person, scam them. And that's exactly what happened here. So this guy is going to take the box and put it in his collection, and I don't know, maybe I need to start my own show or something, a haunted car collector. I'll come and check out your garage, and if I feel your car is haunted, I might want to take that, or even your house. That might be a good show for me to, I could do like a haunted motorcycle collector. I could always use a new motorcycle. This is absolutely insane. This is, like I said, this is a total scam. This guy is taking their shit and just keeping it. I could see it maybe if he would like take it to the antique dealer and get it appraised, and then like, you know, say, hey, we got to take this from your house, but here's fair market value for your item, you know, or even maybe a little extra because it's, you know, it's, sentimental to the person, you know. But no, he just takes the thing, goes and sticks it in his collection, and that's the show. What else can you say? This is a complete scam, and I think this one's actually worse than, you know, things like ghost hunters and you know, the Bigfoot stuff, UFO shows, because this guy's actually robbing people. You know, at least in the Bigfoot show, they're just out there running around the woods yelling and stuff, and ghost hunters, you know, they're pulling collars and, you know, little pranks and stuff, but they're not taking people's money. You know, they're not robbing people of their items. This guy is flat out burglarizing people, and they're helping him do it. It's hard to have pity on him, but what can you say about the gullible? Take care, everybody.